It's the last day in June and a big work day in the late bloomer garden. It's about my last chance to get these loofah potted up and producing, so stay with me. But first, I'm going to do some cleanup in Parkway number 2 before it gets too hot. This mildew-covered salvia has to go. White. Everything except the very last little bloom. Next, I'm going to take out all of this vetch. It grew up in the pots because it's self-seeded from previous years. And I let it grow along the fence because it was really pretty, but now it's all brown and it's all coming out. This pot of freesias is done. I'm going to try to save the bulbs. The great thing about gardening is if you plan things right, you'll always have something blooming. When one thing goes, something else comes. So the freesias are done, and my California aster is blooming. And it is stunning. Take a look. And check out this yarrow. It's really filling out the corner. This is the overwintered tomato, and I've yet to get a tomato. And it always makes me wonder if it's worth it to try to overwinter a tomato, because it's a lot of maintenance all through winter. Okay, I do have one tomato I found. The next challenge is this snapdragon, which is covered in that fungus. I'm I'm going to cut it all the way back. Spray around the ground with some sort of antifungal spray and hope that it comes back, because I've had this particular plant for 4 years now. This is a close-up look at the spores. With all those little leaves, it's really hard to spray this plant and get it covered. So I'm starting over. Okay, the tomato is somewhat under control. Parkway number 2 is looking pretty good, and we're going to move on. I just wanted to point out this great ground cover. It's called Phylla, and these tiny white blooms are very attractive to bees, and it's a very aggressive ground cover, so if you put in 4 little plants in a 12 square foot area, it'll be full in a year. I also have woodland strawberries in here. Since the freesias are done, I'm going to pull out these 2 pots. Which has vetch in it, just like the others did. Oops. There's the bulb. Maybe that wasn't finished, I don't know. Morning. Good morning. Okay, one last thing for now. I cut a couple of these branches of the weeping acacia because they were kind of pushing out into the sidewalk area, and discovered that one of my leeks, it revealed this leek that's about to bloom. It's not as fat as I want it, so I am going to cut this bloom off and let it keep getting fatter. I made another discovery. My amaryllis has a bloom. I thought it was done for this year, so I can look forward to seeing this bright red, gorgeous beauty one more time this year. I just discovered another Johnny Jump Up coming up in this succulent bed, and so I'm going to try to replant that. And there's another little one right beside it. Haven't had any breakfast, so I'm going to sit down and have some green juice. As you can see, I found some shade on the side of the house, so we are now going to be over here. We meaning I. Before the sun hits this area, I need to get some stuff potted up. It's now or never. Because buying soil is so expensive, I like to reuse from my pots and just reboot them with some fresh compost and organic fertilizer. The freesias were in this pot, and I'm just going to break this up, find those bulbs. Remember, I always like to save that much, and then you can wrap it and tie it without having to go hunt down a tie or a piece of twine. Smells great. The first thing is that alyssum that was very dry in that one pot. Okay. Isn't it interesting how all of that comes off two little stems? I still have about 10 sweet Annie plants that need forever homes. Just giving them a little soak. What absolutely has to happen today is I have to pot up my okra, which is tiny, and my cranberry hibiscus and my roselle hibiscus. So these are the roselle, and they're going in 3-gallon cloth pots. Usually I use wet soil to do this, but I'm just trying to move fast today, so something's making me sneeze. Plus, it's easier to clean up if you don't work with wet, because everything gets mud tracked everywhere. I think the okra is going to go into 1-gallon pots until I see how it does. That's all the okra and the roselle, and all of these plants are soaking in trays of water because I did not wet the potting mixture because I wanted to have an easier cleanup. So I've organized pretty well, and the sun is now being blocked by my umbrella, and I feel like while these soak, it's a great time to go in and have some breakfast. I just wanted to show you what's going in my veggie scramble. I had some mushrooms that I purchased, and this is the leek chopped up, and I saved the top bloom and put it in water in the kitchen. And 3 or 4 little beet tops, and 3 cherry tomatoes, and 1 Phileas blue pepper. Here's my veggie scramble. And I added a little fresh basil and thyme, ground coriander that I grew, pepper and salt. Okay. It's about time I talked about this. Some people ask me about the celery blanching and how that did. And this is a prime example of what happens when you have more plants than you can really take care of. And of course it was late season, so all of my celery has bolted. And I've got lots more that's blooming all over, so I'm going to remove all this. But I just wanted to show you that underneath the paper it is lighter. So if you want a milder tasting celery, then this does work. As you can see how much lighter it is at the bottom. Almost like a leek. So because I'm in short supply of places to grow anything, no more space in the ground has any sun at all. So I'm going to clear this planter and put in my 3 cranberry hibiscus. Yeah, this one's particularly blonde. You only do this for like the last 2 weeks or something. You don't do it for months. It's kind of heavy. I mean, it is heavy. Now, I once got scolded for putting this root ball in the green bin, that it is loaded with nutrients, and so it looks like a brownie, a big. I think what I'm going to do is just slice it in half. Do I have a knife? That's the question. A machete would be better, but I don't have a machete, so the goal is to try to just take a slice of it and not lose the shape of this part, so it will fit right back in. Okay, really. Okay. Now this may grow celery, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people tell me they wear these kind of shoes, but I find that they're so wide that I'm often tripping, and I don't want to be doing that. See what I mean? All right, now I'm going to put about half of this and half of this in here. Have some fresh. I'm going to put some worm castings, which I'm going to put a little bit on all of this. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Wow. What plant wouldn't love to live in that? Now I've got 3 of these cranberry hibiscus. If you recall, last year and the year before, my cranberry hibiscus was incredible. 12 feet tall, bright red. Now these are 3 together, so this is going to be challenging. But what isn't challenging, right? I'm just trying to massage them apart. That's going to be hard. Okay, we're going to have to hope for the best on this. Hibiscus loves the sun and can take the heat. It grows great in Phoenix, for example, and Mobile, Alabama, which is where this original plant came from. I just set out 3 calendula here and planted the Johnny Jump Up over here. Another thing I need to do today is thin out these calendula seedlings. These are seeds that were sent to me by Samina Irfan, and there's way too many in this pot. I may have to do it again, but for now I'm just taking out 1 out of every 3. Just pine shavings from animal bedding, and I like them because they're so lightweight and they don't disturb little plants, but they will hold the moisture in. Okay, you might have been wondering, when do we get to the loofah? That time would be now. I have determined that the only thing I can do, because I don't have any 5-gallon cloth pots, I'm going to use 5-gallon plastic pots. But before I do that, I'm going to plant the stevia. It's gotten pretty insect damaged, but it's still alive, so I'm going to pot it up. Got nice roots on it. I've got my merry band of loofah, 5 of them here, and there's only one more thing I'm going to add to the pot, and that is neem seed meal. And neem, of course, is a plant, and the meal is supposed to be very beneficial to add to your potting mix. I know it's just a bit of a luxury, but I'm going to do it because it is a cucurbit. Loofah is a cucumber plant. Watch my loofah video if you've never seen it. If you don't know that loofah grows up as a plant, it does. It is a cucumber plant, and you can eat it when it's young and green, or if you leave it to dry on the vine and get big, you can use what becomes the exoskeleton as a sponge. It's not a sponge. A sponge is an animal in the ocean. But we call it a sponge because it's ubiquitous. We use it for scrubbing, so people call it a sponge. It's not a sponge, but it is a loofah. And I'm going to put just a handful of the neem seed meal. I should have put it in the pot, forgot, but I'm putting it on top dressing. Just picked a few fresh boysenberries. I just picked up some plums from the ground, and this is actually where it hits the gravel, and a piece of gravel actually goes into the plum. But I thought some of this might be salvageable. This is actually cowpeas, and cowpeas likes to spread out and get to turn into a big plant. So I really should give this its own pot. these calendula. And they need to be thinned out. Wow. I'm just taking the small ones. Hi guys, it is the end of a very long garden day, and I am just taking a quick break before I wrap things up to check out my new Timber Ridge lounger. Oh, Kaye. I'm going to be using this a lot. And look at my new garden cart. It holds all of these things as well as a ton of weight, and I know I'm going to be getting this very dirty, and you're going to be seeing this a lot in my Workday videos. So the good people at Timber Ridge sent me these products to try, and if you'd like to try these products, I have put the link to my Amazon store in the top comment below, and you can go there and try them for yourself. All right, better get back to work. The light is fading. And this thing holds a ton. Check it out. First test. It is blissfully quiet. Sunday night at 8 o'clock. It's cool. It's the absolute perfect time to work. But by 8 p.m. I'm kind of tired. But right now I'm going to move some of this stuff forward to create more space for the tomatoes in the bag. I let this vetch grow thinking that the nutrition from the vetch would help this pepper plant, but I should have cut it back a long time ago because vetch soaked up all the water and the pepper's really struggling. I'm cutting the vetch just in case the roots help the plant. Thanks so much for watching this channel, liking my videos, and especially sharing them with your friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And if you enjoyed this one, why not try these?